You're not yourself.
No, John. You're not yourself.
My name is not John.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome to another episode of Watching Watchmen. I'm Joe.
And I'm Jimbob.
And together,
we're one drink in.
This is, we just watched the 7th episode.
Is it 7 already?
I believe 7.
Oh, geez.
Title is An Almost Religious Awe.
Aw.
We just watched it, and this is just a sip.
Just a sip of our talking about this week's episode. You'll get the full drink later in the week.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We've had time to sober up.
Watch it again. Maybe we'll watch it another time.
You can if you want.
All right, maybe. So the little synopsis is: under Lady True's care, Angela undergoes an unconventional treatment. Laurie chases down a lead. The smartest man in the world delivers a stunning defense of his past actions.
Oh my. Stunning defense, I think, is a great way to put it.
Left me breathless. Breathless?
So do you think Laurie's, what did you call it? What kind of treatment? Unconventional treatment?
Unconventional.
You think it's like something like acupuncture or like...
That would make sense. Like
massage therapy or... Yeah.
I think so.
Homeopathic remedies?
Maybe, medicinal marijuana.
If only.
We'll find out. So it starts with Watchmen. The title sequence is like a staticky TV.
Like a 1980s TV.
You guys remember those days?
I do remember those. You guys might not, but Joe and I are...
fooling around with those rabbit ears.
We're a third into our lives, so we remember those things.
Yeah, TV wasn't always digital, kids. It wasn't digital. It was something else.
It was analog.
Yeah. Radio signals.
There was a knob you had to turn.
Signals. I don't know the science behind it.
With a set of pliers.
I didn't make them. I just experienced them. So that was kind of cool. Brings back my youth.
Sure. I feel like it didn't really fit the episode as well as a lot of the other ones usually do. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we got like an egg yolk version for one episode that's all about eggs. The egg episode, as we all remember.
I think it was probably establishing the time setting, right? Back when TVs used to.
But the episode's trouble. Not set in that time.
Briefly, we had some flashbacks to that time. There was a good amount of.
I guess that's true. We do have 80s, Angela's actual 80s. Memories.
Or are they?
They might be the elephants. Spoiler alert.
Oh my goodness. So flashback to a young Angela in Saigon. We see her at a video store.
Yep.
Looking to rent a movie. Remember renting VHS tapes?
I do. That was good
back
times.
In the day, the Blockbuster.
Yeah, super awkward experience, really. Yeah. I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore.
The awkward having to
stream everything.
Yeah. What was awkward? Because you were getting
it's
naughty
like I would
videos.
Yeah, I would like to rent one copy of this kids movie and one copy of this not kids movie. Ring me up, please, clerk, and do not say anything.
Oh man,
we will never speak of
different
this again.
Times. Yeah. Netflix doesn't judge you. Maybe they do. We just don't know it.
There's apparently one Blockbuster still in existence.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I think I might have heard it closed down. Was it in Alaska?
I don't know where it was. That sounds like an appropriate place for the last Blockbuster.
Oh my. She's in the video store, and I guess it was videos, yeah?
Yeah, and she picks out...
scrolls through some different videos. We saw that...
Tusky the bear, Trunky the bear.
It was an elephant, I think,
Elephant,
right?
yes. Yeah. Why did I say bear?
I don't know.
I'm one drink in.
Too many drinks in.
A few drinks in.
Okay. Elephants, not bears. Oh, my. So we see a couple of elephant movies, and then one was... The book from the previous episode. Do you remember the name of that now?
Oh, it just got away from me.
Yeah, we'll go over it in our deep dive.
Yes, the book written by the author from the graphic novel,
the fictional
was taken author, to the island.
You guys know who I'm talking about. And then she sees a movie called Sister Night. None with the motherfucking gun.
I want to watch that movie.
I also want to see that movie.
That looks like a treasure.
Also, the name of Angela's theme song from the soundtrack.
Oh, None with a motherfucking gun.
That song that plays
wonder
for Angela.
Is that a real movie? We have to find out if that's a real. I bet you it's a real movie.
That'd be pretty amazing if it was. I just dismissed it like it was part of the show, but we'll dig in. And I like that. They're playing the song "Living in America," which
because Vietnam is America,
and everybody seems kind of okay with Dr. Manhattan, even though. It
does seem strange. Yeah. They're having this Manhattan Fest.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, they got puppet shows, they got masks, they got fun times with Dr. Manhattan. Totally forgot about how he blew up villages.
Well, perhaps those were all the American citizens living in Saigon, and perhaps that when your nation assimilates another nation into itself, the people kind of feel like they have to, be excited about that. Else. We do see at the end, though, there's that graffiti of Dr. Manhattan. I think it says murderer.
It does.
So not everybody is stoked on Dr. Manhattan. I have a feeling the guy that blows himself up, probably not super stoked.
Not a
Dr.
fan.
Manhattan.
Maybe he was trying to turn himself into a Dr. Manhattan. He just didn't understand.
He just didn't do the
works.
research on what happened.
You even know what an intrinsic field is, sir?
Bomb. So yeah, she gets the Sister Night movie, goes back to her parents, and they don't
see an adult Marcus Abar.
Last time I saw him, he was just a
lot of time has passed since the last episode.
Yeah. He's wearing the uniform, so he ended up being
he's a soldier, or appeared to be some, because we find out he fought in Vietnam.
That's right.
Against his
mother's wishes.
Yeah.
And then stayed, met a nice lady, and made Vietnam his new home. Lots of opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, from the flashback, it seemed like a fairly nice place.
Other than the bomb going off, yeah, it seemed pretty sweet.
Occasional bombers is the price you have to pay sometimes to live in a nice, sunny, eternal parade.
Right.
To Dr. Manhattan.
Her parents not super enthused with her movie selection. They told her to take it back for a different one. He said something about people in masks are dangerous.
Yes, we should be afraid of them.
We should be afraid of them.
Angela wears a mask, though.
Should
we be afraid of Angela?
What a weird coincidence.
It is a strange coincidence.
I'm scared of Angela. I wouldn't want to mess with her.
I'm not scared of her, but I wouldn't want to cross her.
No, certainly not.
I also wouldn't want to cross Lori, though. So, like, between the two of them, I don't know.
There are a few people
which I want to cross less.
Want to cross in this show. I was going to say maybe even Topher, but Topher kind of scares me,
Topher's probably got some kind of powers.
There's something going on with that kid.
We haven't seen him in a while, come to think of it.
Then as she's going back to the video store to get a much more appropriate video for a 10-year-old.
Something like that.
We see the bomb pack, the backpack bomb.
Yeah. Bomb pack. I like that.
The bomb pack. And Angela's parents are just engulfed in the explosion.
Could you keep a bomb pack in your bake cave?
I believe so.
That would be a place you
have to keep it away from the heating elements.
Yes, because it's a functioning bakery.
Yes. Is it though?
Not yet.
We actually seen
not for another few months.
They boiled an egg, so there is some.
I don't know if that's technically baking.
I don't know. Yeah. Bomb goes off, and we cut to present day Angela. I think that's when she kind of falls out of her bed.
Yes, she smacks hard on the floor, it looked like. And Lady True comes in, and it's like, here we go again. Was this the 6th time that she's been going through this? Angela keeps waking up, falling out of her bed. And so Lady True gives her an injection, says it's the tutorial for her treatment.
Right.
And I'm just blown away. Like, why, if that's a thing that exists in this world, why isn't like TV just a pill you take or whatever? You know, American Hero Story, the gummy chewables,
edibles.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go binge this new pack of a show.
Have you eaten The Sopranos?
Don't do it in one sitting. It's too much. So yeah, true. Apparently, Angela, this has been going on for a few times. I think it was the 6th time.
Fifth or sixth, yeah.
True seems slightly annoyed by it, but she's still doing it. And then we understand that she has some sort of a host feeding her brain.
Cerebrospinal fluid or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Through her arm?
And we're to assume that the host is none other than her grandfather.
Well, Angela certainly assumes
we certainly
that.
assume. But True doesn't really give her any indication.
She says it's a bad idea to meet Will.
That's what she says, right? Because he's an elephant now.
That's what the process
The
requires.
elephant man.
The only way to cure someone who's down to your nostalgia is to turn them into an elephant.
That's right.
So they can process your memories.
And I do believe the Elephant Man was one of the original Watchmen.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm a human being.
It's a true story. Did you know that? Yeah.
I think Alan Moore wrote it.
You didn't write a true story. It actually happened.
Autobiography. Oh my. We find out that 12 hours until the Millennium Clock is activated.
Oh boy, that sounds ominous.
A little bit. What? It's just a clock, though. We've heard that numerous times. It just tells.
Why would
time.
you need to activate a clock?
I mean, at some point, what?
Has it just not been running this whole time?
Right. Yeah, it's just dormant.
Then how do they know how many hours until they got to turn it on?
Well, they have other clocks. This isn't the only clock.
Well,
in
then why
existence.
is this a whole big to do?
You know, stay tuned. Maybe next episode we'll get some more info. Anything else we want to talk about there?
I think that's good.
Pretty good. So yeah, 12 hours till Millennium Clock activation. Cut to Red Scare and Pirate Jenny outside True Industries or
Yes.
True whatever.
True
it's called facilities.
True Town.
True HQ.
There you go.
I like that. True HQ. And then Cal drives up, and Cal wants to see Angela.
None other than Cal Abar. Nobody else.
And we get we get a little hologram of Beyond.
Yeah, so I also like that, like the person running the booth like has to
Kinda
pull
wheels it out.
the hologram. Like, I'll get the hologram wheel,
Right.
and then sets it down, and Beyond pops up and has this little, Darth Sidious kind of
Sure,
conversation.
Yeah.
Execute
can you see
Order
and hear me okay?
66.
And Cal wants to see Angela. They're saying that's not a very good idea.
Why don't they just have holograms built into the driveway?
That's what I wanted to know, right?
Right?
Whatever. And they're not letting Cal go in there. Cal's getting a little frustrated, and he says, "Where's Agent Blake?" So he likes Agent Blake. What's that about?
Does he like Agent Blake, or does he think that like Agent Blake would have some pull in the situation?
Yeah.
But
Or
it
perhaps-
is. You're right that it is another connection between Laurie
Cal and Laurie have
Cal.
some sort of a shared history.
Or maybe like an unspoken attraction.
Perhaps. And then we cut to Agent Blake. And she is listening to Angela's recordings from when she was...
So she recorded, as we found out in
nostalgia.
Peteypedia last week, that the nostalgia trip, Angela talked the whole thing. So, spilled all the beans on Hooded Justice, on who killed Crawford.
Crawford, yep.
Turns out that was also Hooded Justice.
And then a lot of mention of Cyclops.
Cyclops, mind control, racist cults, all the good stuff. But then she gets a radio call from our boy Petey. Who went to pick up Mirror Guy. And he's just in Mirror Guy's bunker with a whole bunch of dead 7th Cavalry. So, kind of contradicting what we kind of originally thought, that, Mirror Guy is I keep calling him Mirror Guy, Looking Glass. Is averse to violence, but apparently not, because he did pretty well. He cleaned up pretty well with these against these well-armed 7th Cavalry members who outnumbered him.
But also begs the question, because Petey also asks, why wouldn't Looking Glass call it in?
Yeah.
Why didn't he call it in? Should I call it in? Somebody should call this in.
Petey, just make your own decisions, man. Don't
put your mask on, Petey, and wait for me at home. What happened there?
There's definitely a story we've not yet been told.
7th Cavalry members, there were 5 of them dead. all wearing the Rorschach mask, except for one.
Did we see 5 of them in the episode previous, or 2 episodes ago, I guess? I didn't count how many
It was a handful.
I just noticed a shotgun, and I was like, oh, LG's going to die.
Mm. Somebody's going to die. 5 of them died. It was a massacre.
True.
I mean, they were on Looking Glass's home turf, and the man has a bunker.
He might have home aloned them.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, how else do they wind up in the bunker? I bet there are 2 guys in there with, like, glass shards in their feet, and, like, they're wrapped up in saran
Hands
wrap.
are burned from doorknobs. Oh, my God. Paint buckets just everywhere. And a tarantula.
Yes. The centerpiece of the plan.
Right. Then we cut back to Laurie, who's meeting with Jane, who's riding a white horse.
A white horse. That symbol has not gone away.
No.
And as we kind of thought, so we find out in this scene, as Joe and I kind of speculated early on in the show, that Jane is kind of a big player in this vast and insidious conspiracy. That she might, hold the keys to hell. And apparently she does, but they don't work very well. You have to push the button a few times.
That's the best. Oh my gosh. So Laurie confronts Jane, mentions that she thinks she knows who killed Crawford because she's got the confession, basically. And then Jane pulls out
Jane kind of pulls a villain move and is all like, oh, but I'm the bad guy. And just like tells her basically.
Yeah, right. That was the original plan, but presidency is 2 small potatoes.
Yeah, so you think Joe Keen's trying to take over the world or something?
It certainly seems that way.
So what does this have to do with Lady True and the Millennium Clock?
And an elephant. All may or may not be
Well, we know what the elephant's all
episodes.
about. That's figured out.
Sure, yeah.
The elephant is the remains of Lady True's mom, clearly.
I think, we already know Beyond is her mom, so we don't know who her father is. Perhaps the elephant is the father.
Oh, wow.
Should we talk about the elephant in the room?
There is an elephant in a room.
Oh, gosh. The trap door was probably my favorite part of the whole episode. And I love that it didn't work right away.
No. Like any trapdoor worth its salt, you got to hit the button a few times.
This giant remote with looked like 3 or 4 different buttons on there.
And Laurie's question to Joe Keen later is, who builds a fucking trapdoor in their living room? That's when did
Perfect.
Jane or Judd Crawford decide, if anyone comes around, we should really have a trapdoor in the living room just in case.
Makes you wonder what other kind of security measures they have.
This house might be like a whole fun house full of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like a Home Alone house.
A Home Alone situation. Home Alone was a very popular movie in the Watchmen universe. Kevin McAllister, I think, ran for president, but sadly
Robert Redford beat him for the 17th time.
Presidency's 2 small potatoes. And then we see Joe Keen later, so I guess we can pick up on that after that. Cut back to Angela with Beyond in her human form, not a hologram.
Right,
Beyond.
yes. Solid Beyond.
She made a personal appearance.
Corporeal Beyond.
And she's showing her a series of pictures and asking her questions. And it reminded me a lot of a Rorschach test.
It does. You know what it reminds me of? You ever see Blade Runner or read the book?
Seen it, yeah.
So they have a test in that to determine if a person's an android. It's like an empathy test.
Yeah.
So that Beyond mentions this is like an empathy test, right?
Yep.
Something about empathy and it withheld anger and social situation, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm, she gives off, it's her PhD. I don't have a PhD, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so it reminded me a lot of Blade Runner because why is she testing Angela if it's just for her, her doctorate thesis? Right. Or is there something else? Is she trying to figure out if Angela's all there?
Right. Good question. And also, does Beyond know who she is? She doesn't. She must not, because she refers to True as her mother.
This is true. Yeah, I think Lady True is, in this respect, following Will's advice and, giving it to her slowly so her head doesn't explode.
Yeah. And True just wants her mother to be there for her big unveiling of the Millennium Clock.
Yeah. And she mentioned, what is it? Angela mentions her father, like asks if her father's here. And what does she say in response? Oh, God, now I can't remember. I feel like that was, no, Lady True. When they're having food, there's a bunch of octopuses on the plate.
Yeah.
Great shot, by the way.
Very nice shot.
Skimming past those, very subtle. Mm-hmm. And then, so she says, like, when she says she wants her parents to be there for, her big moment or whatever, I think Angela asks about her dad.
Yes.
And I don't remember what Lady True's response is.
Something that we haven't met him yet, but she almost implied like he's coming. Did you get that feeling?
It was I certainly got an ominous feeling.
Yeah. So that could be, I mean, we do know that in the Peteypedia file, there was reference that, there were a lot of suitors. No, her father could have been the comedian. Is that what it was? Or is a lover a comedian?
Lady True's father? Possibly, but that wouldn't make much sense because the comedian's dead, unless she cloned the comedian.
I mean, anything's possible now.
Which would be super weird.
She's cloning her mother. So yeah, clones are on the table. Nostalgia. So the fake memories could be on the table. There's a whole lot of fun that they can have with this. And we're just all along for the ride.
I know I am.
What else? Anything else with the Beyond scene? Beyond kind of asks if it's hard lying to your children about what you do.
About being a cop.
Yeah.
And she asks, and we hear this question again, like if your children are afraid of you being a cop, then why are you a cop? And so like we hear that echoed when she wakes up later. So like, I feel like that's a pretty important question.
Yeah. There's a lot going on with Angela that we don't know about. Maybe it has
to do with her husband. I mean, maybe he's got some kind of secret we don't know about.
Cal? No, he's just Cal.
Cal seems pretty down to earth, pretty normal dude.
He's just a normal guy. Nothing too crazy going on there. Then we flash back to Saigon, and we've got Angela in some sort of a like child labor factory where she's making Dr. Manhattan toys with a bunch of orphans.
Yeah.
And then gets called out.
I wasn't sure if that was a factory or if that was just like craft time for the children. Like that's like that,
Craft time seems too fun.
Well, like forced craft time.
Craft time.
It's sort of like a propaganda thing.
Okay,
like they should look up to Dr. Manhattan or regard him positively as well as our American overlords.
Perhaps that, yeah.
That was the sense I got from it. But I mean, it could well be that she was making they have like orphans make toys.
But yeah. Either way, it seems like it's not.
I don't know why she couldn't get a job at Nike or something, though.
The big opportunities over there.
Nike, if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, I think I just shot it, but we're here.
So then we get, the police officers show up and they want Angela to ID the guy who may have been the bomber.
Yeah, or linked to the bomber. Bomber. And she does. He has his distinctive villain scar.
That villain scar. You think he was born with the villain scar?
You're not born with scars. Scars are earned, Joseph.
Perhaps. But if you were born with a scar,
it would just be a birthmark at that point.
It was his destiny to become a bomber, is what I'm saying. The guy had no choice in the matter. We should feel sorry for
Dr. Manhattan might agree with you that, time is just a continuum, that events just happen. There's no changing the past or the future.
And then the cops tell her not to be scared. And she says that she's not scared, right?
Yeah. And she totally fingers the guy.
Fingers him? Were we watching the same show? Were you at Blockbuster again?
Different use of the word finger, sir. But she points out the dude. She positively identifies him as the
better,
accomplice
before fingering him, and then he gets
Nobody
shot.
got fingered.
We don't know what happened between him getting taken away. Even
Angela doesn't get fingered.
Then we get. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about? We hear the gunshot.
She wanted to listen.
Listen to what?
And it's just,
either him getting beaten or...
He was just going to... They're just going to take him out back and shoot him. That's how they do things in Saigon, America.
And then the cop gives Angela her one and only badge. So now, is she still a cop at that point? Or is she like...
No, Angela's a cop now.
So now Angela is the police officer and the other woman can just go home.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So 10-year-old Angela can bust down doors and be like, police.
She has authority.
Officer Angela with a copy of Sister Night.
I think that was it for that scene.
It's pretty much.
And then we go transition from Angela to Ozymandias.
Oh boy, that was an awesome transition.
Her like eyes turn into the
stained glass mirrors. Windows.
And then we see Ozymandias in full costume in a court.
Then we find out that this trial has been going on for a full year. To the day.
So we didn't see Ozymandias last episode, but we can assume that he was just starting court.
Yes.
And now just finishing as we check in each year.
I don't know why it would take them a whole year to go through all this, especially as we find out that Ozzy didn't really say anything.
Doesn't say a whole lot.
In his defense.
No. I was expecting Ozymandias to have a very eloquently worded defense and just charm.
In a way, it kind of was.
It was something.
I mean, isn't this whole existence on Europa just kind of a fart?
Everything's just a joke.
It's
all a joke.
I mean, so I think he has good reason to not take this situation seriously because he's either going to kill them all and escape anyway, or I don't know, figure out something else. Or he already accomplished his plan by writing out the message. He's just waiting for rescue to come.
Just playing the waiting game. Mm-hmm. It was interesting that the Crookshank who goes up to
the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm. Yes. When she's done, she kind of winks at him.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was a friendly wink, like we're pulling this off. Is there some sort of a plan? A scheme?
Probably. Maybe the game warden is going to wind up eating his wig after this. He's going to be like, "Oh, he had me." This was all according to plan. Even the pigs.
I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Ozymandias.
This is true.
And
but it still begs the question, like, how do you wind up here? Who's the god? Who's the creator who put them there?
And is he skin blue?
Or black?
Or both, depending on the day. What else? The wink. I didn't know what that meant.
Definitely, yeah. We'll find out.
But then he kind of tears up later. So maybe those were fake tears.
Or maybe he just knows he has to endure something in order for his plan to work. Like he's got to sit tight, go to prison.
Yeah.
It's going to suck. There might be like...
is this his fifth? I don't even lost count. Sixth? Is this his sixth anniversary? There? Or would it be seven?
I think it's anniversary 5. No, it's we're on 7th episode.
We're I feel like
so it must be the 6th anniversary. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been here for quite some time.
We expect one more year before he gets out.
Yeah.
So because that would be 2019.
We have 2 episodes left.
So he gets out the next episode, I'm guessing.
Perhaps. And then we get his defense. Very brief.
It wasn't that brief. It was kind of impressive. I wonder if he prepared that. Like if he's like,
that's actually one of his superpowers.
Phillips, bring me all the beans we have.
He can do it on command.
There you go. You think in prison he'll meet like a gang of like Phillips supremacists or like the
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
The Phillips gang.
Some of the reject Phillips and Crookshanks that are in prison for doing horrible things. I'd like to see that. Get a whole Great Escape thing. They plan there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dig some tunnels.
I like it. Then anything else we want to talk about with the Ozzy scene?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think so.
We transition from him kind of tearing up to the golden statue.
Yeah. Yeah. Him frozen in carbonite.
Goldenite. And Angela's at Lady True's place and they're eating a nice little squid buffet, it looked like. Among other food, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to have a vivarium. Am I alone in this?
No, of course
not. Very
nice. I think that's the next step as in the the upper class American dream is probably to have your own controllable climate.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, where else do you go? Aside from having your own planet.
True. Maybe. I mean True's kind of got everything.
So what flavor would your vivarium be?
flavor? Like what temperature, climate? Something tropical, like beach, I think. Not too humid, though.
So typical.
Yeah. What would you do? You want to do some frozen?
Eastern Missouri, I think.
Wow, dream big. They're eating food, and she says that she's got a secret plan to save humanity.
Yes. We've heard that before.
We have heard that before. I don't know who to believe.
We're aware of so yeah, like in case you haven't, figured out, the archetypes are definitely falling into line that she's the Ozymandias of the group. But it also kind of seems like Joaquin might be.
Right. That's where it's getting kind of
it does get a little hazy, yeah. But I just, maybe their plans aren't separate.
Yeah, I'm playing around with that because he does have a lot of true technology.
Except Lady True does specifically say that she's trying to save the world from the white supremacists using Dr. Manhattan powers.
Which is exactly what you would say if you were trying to throw someone off your scent.
Also true.
And if you had an elephant in captivity in the vivarium. I don't know what to believe. We also find out that Bian is not her daughter.
As if we had any question about that anyway.
I did not see that coming.
Did you not read Peteypedia?
What's Peteypedia? What show are we watching?
It's like Wikipedia, but it's all they have because they don't have the internet.
Just Dale. Yeah, so Bian, it's confirmed that she is actually a clone of Lady True's mother, and she's pumping her full of her mother's memories. Now, how did Lady True get a hold of her mother's memories?
She cloned her and harvested her memories right before she died. Apparently she died sick.
Do we know how she died?
I feel like it's implied that she was sick and old and that she was dying slowly. So it'd be easy to get at those memories.
Perfect. And then we find out that Cal's accident was a car accident, according to Lady True.
Yes.
And he lost his memory.
Or at least that's the official story. But yeah, she mentions amnesia, and that amnesia, for real's amnesia, doesn't actually, like complete amnesia doesn't really happen in the real life. Like it's always like partial amnesia or anterograde amnesia or what have you, but it's never like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's already casting doubt on
Lady True's
that story.
Yeah. And then Angela finds out that Bian's, the clone. And then she asks about her dad. And I think she said something about her dad is coming too. So
yeah,
stay tuned.
So interesting.
Very interesting.
What if her dad is Dr. Manhattan?
I think there's three possibilities on the table. Dr. Manhattan, which I don't find incredibly likely.
Dan Dryberg.
I didn't even put him in the mix, but I guess you could throw him in there.
The comedian.
The comedian is high up on my list, and Ozymandias.
Ooh, Ozzy, that'd be cool.
She did say that something about his, something was the seed of her. I don't know. She said seed. The seed of inspiration.
Seed,
for her.
You say?
Seed.
That's true.
Yeah.
She did.
Uh-huh.
And that would also kind of fit with the theory that, like, she's keeping him in a vivarium on Europa or something.
Yeah.
Like, if she's his father, then she has, like, a reason to, or if he's her father.
Yeah.
Whatever I said.
Yep.
Then, yeah, why not keep him on one of the moons of Jupiter just so he's out of the way?
He could be age appropriate to be her father.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I think that would make more sense than the comedian. Although if it were the comedian, that would be an interesting dynamic between Laurie and Lady True.
That is
both
also
sharing
true.
that father.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as True is more of an Ozymandias character, I think Ozzy would make a lot of sense.
That's true.
That's my prediction anyway. We'll see.
So we it's kind of also implied that
it's got to be him. She says he's coming. He's coming. Ozzy's going to be coming. Of course.
Oh, you're right.
It's got to be Ozzy.
Well, maybe. But like, so she also mentioned, or we learned in Peteypedia that Lady True's mom was also kind of like a genius or something. And, elephant mom or whatever, raising her kid in a specific way.
Literally an elephant mom.
Oh, shit.
We thought that she was Beyond's a clone. Beyond is the human form.
The memories are coming from the elephant.
Yes.
Now it all makes sense.
Because the elephants never forget.
They never forget, even other people's memories.
And they can fly. I've seen elephants flying. You've never seen this?
No.
Do you ever go to a zoo?
Not in any Disney production that I've ever seen has an elephant flown.
I mean, perhaps I'm mistaken.
Was Operation Dumbo Drop a Disney movie? I think it might have been.
Yeah.
Does Falling count? It was Falling with Style.
So many Disney references.
Hey, Disney, if you guys are looking for a podcast to sponsor.
I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for that scene. And then we cut to the 7th Cavalry hideout where Laurie is captured.
In front of the painting of the Cyclops eye.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That old JCPenney, as she mentions. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and she basically just says she doesn't care about the master plan.
She's been through all that before.
Just tell me, I don't care.
It's really for the villain, the villain monologue plan. It's for them. It's not really for the hero to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Or even for the audience. It's because the villain can't resist telling you everything, all the cool stuff they're doing. Like, hey, check it. Like, you're not going to believe what I put together. I can't believe it worked. I got all these chess pieces in play. It's awesome. The world's going to blow up. You're going to love it.
It's like the anticipation's the real benefit. The payoff is just, it's never as satisfying as the anticipation. Right?
That's true.
So yeah, great dialogue between her and Joe Keane. She says she's just tired of this. And Joe kind of gives the indication that he wants to become Dr. Manhattan.
And so, yeah, we got all these Rorschach masked dudes building like a big cage with a bunch of true technology.
A lot of true technology.
There's a portal door. So like, I don't know how they plan to trap. Well, I mean, I guess it's not impossible because, yeah, he can teleport, but he's also, he can also be intrinsic fielded, so to speak.
As we've seen.
So why couldn't you build some sort of, sci-fi tech containment unit for him?
I don't see any reason why you couldn't. But it would probably take at least $1 trillion. So, I mean, who would be able to pull
somebody
that off?
with $1 trillion.
That's really, I think, the bullet points of that scene. So that Joe Keane wants to become a blue guy. Why does it have to be blue? He could be any color, I guess.
Yeah, he could be black.
Seems to really like the color white. So
yeah, so I also love how Joe Keane says that they're not racists. And then the very next sentence is like, it's really hard to be a white man in America.
Right.
So like for a second, I was like feeling a little vindicated that, the 7th Cavalry isn't actually racist, as I suspected from like the very first episode. But no, they're probably still pretty racist.
I think so. Yeah. Seems that way anyway. And then we see Lady True. We cut back to Angela, I think, in True's captivity.
Yes. And then is that when she breaks into the elephant room?
So, I think we see Angela, and then True comes up on the TV doing kind of like a big Millennium Clock
yes, she's doing her speech. Yes.
Talking about how she's had many successes, but nostalgia was a big failure of hers.
Or because was it? I think nostalgia, like commercially, was a failure. Publicly was a failure, but that's something she is
using it
exactly
currently for.
Yeah, that's just one of her many toys.
Sure, but yeah, I think you're right. Commercially, it was a failure. She said people just wanted to keep reliving their trauma,
which is, kind of true. Like
from what we've seen, sure. Yeah. Will Reeves certainly likes to. And then, if we get the scene of Angela. By the way, if you ever want to break into a secured room, just get a rock and smash.
I like how it's the Star keypad. Wars answer. You shoot the keypad and the door opens.
I mean, unless this was all part of True's plan, she wanted Angela to see the giant elephant.
Possible.
I don't know. Giant elephant. I think it was a normal sized elephant. Never forget, and that's just the most appropriate thing for something pumping memories into you.
Sure. Or because it has a huge liver and can process all that toxic nostalgia chemicals.
That's not the only huge organ they have.
That's true.
They got a big heart, big lungs, big everything.
Ears.
Really.
Have you seen the ears?
They're massive. Yeah.
And that long, dangling trunk.
Penis. Trunk. Yes, trunk. So she sees that it's a giant elephant, and then all of her questions are answered, and she moves on to the next room.
Well, she unplugs her IV, and an alarm goes off.
That's
like
right.
subject
Has
disconnected.
been disconnected.
And she immediately flunks into one of her own memories of when her grandmother visited the orphanage.
Good to see, June.
June, what was her last name? Do we know her last name?
I don't know. She didn't mention it this
June
episode.
Reeves, I guess, at this point, if she didn't go back to her maiden name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll go with June Reeves. Sure.
But in any case, she found Angela, and she kind of reprimands the orphanage lady.
Yeah.
Like
they always talk to you like that.
Like Grelod the Kind for all the Skyrim fans. She's like the cruel orphanage mistress or whatever. Like is kind of a pretty common trope, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, so she takes her out for where'd they go to a restaurant, get some mooncakes.
Yeah. They had an N with an apostrophe, like almost like In-N-Out Burger. Or Steak and Shake. Oh, really? Whatever it was like something in...
Is that not just like a Vietnamese... I don't speak Vietnamese, but I feel like apostrophes and N's are in...
It's entirely possible.
The language.
But I'm going to go with it was some sort of an In-N-Out franchise
there you go.
In Saigon. We get some backstory. Turns out Marcus and her did not have the greatest relationship, sadly.
Well, or at least it fell apart toward... When he left, when he went to war in Vietnam. And she also mentions that he never got over how somebody in a mask scared him.
Yeah, right.
And so, once again, the legacy, the whole inherited trauma theme is catching up with us as Marcus sort of inherited something from his father, his fear of masks. And then Angela kind of picks up sort of the opposite. Eventually when she learns that fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also find out that her grandma's a fan of the movie Sister Night.
That's right. Yeah. They're going to watch it together.
Watch it.
Coolest grandma I know.
She's got a VCR back in Tulsa.
And then she mentioned she had a mild heart attack, but don't worry, guys.
Just
probably
a little
won't come
one.
Back anyway. It's just
she's not foreshadowing anything.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that.
They're just going to live happily ever after in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And what else?
So grandma is helping her with her bags into the cab, I guess, to go to the airport.
Yeah. And
then collapses. And then for some reason, Angela still goes to Tulsa. Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like,
do we know if it right then and there she's in Tulsa or there's still some
she was still in Vietnam.
Right. Yeah. So she ends up in Tulsa ultimately.
So isn't that kind of weird though? Like, so you saw your parents get blowed up.
Yep.
And so you're in an orphanage in Vietnam. And so your next of kin, your grandma comes to pick you up. And just as you're about to leave, she kicks it.
Boom.
So then it's like, well, now she has no next of kin and she's still in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. So
why go back to Tulsa?
Why go to Tulsa or how go to Tulsa? Like, where's she going to go in Tulsa?
Well, we got some blanks to fill in still, but I do know, like, right after the grandma has a heart attack, that's when it pans from Angela to the big graffiti of Dr. Manhattan.
True. And it says murderer, which is not untrue.
But, oh gosh, hang with me here. Is it possible Dr. Manhattan orchestrated the death of June to keep Angela in Saigon because he's in love with a 10-year-old? Ooh, this just got dark.
Well, he wasn't in love with a 10-year-old, but because he perceives time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All simultaneously.
That's what all pedophiles say.
But see, then he wouldn't feel the need to.
I perceive time differently.
Yes, I will be in love with you when you grow up. So
I just knew
we might as well consummate now. But so that same logic would ask us to question, like, why kill off the grandma, right? Because what's going to happen is going to happen. And if he's going to fall in love with Angela eventually, like, you can just teleport to wherever she is. She doesn't need her to stay in some place or something.
I don't know. Just interesting little transition there.
It was.
Murderer.
I mean, he is.
And
killed a lot of Viet Cong.
He sure did. Wearing his little Speedo.
Yeah, I do like how they showed us in this episode a scene from Vietnam.
Big blue glory.
Yeah, very cool.
Just towering over everybody. Yeah,
it's kind of the first. Is that the first time we've really gotten a good look at Dr. Manhattan?
Other than the one on Mars, but we find out that
wasn't a good look. That's
not a good look.
No.
This is a much bigger look. I'll give you that.
Yes.
Yeah. Cut to Angela back to the elephant. And I guess she's still kind of in that room with the elephant, trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
The elephant's probably just as confused as she is.
Then she goes into the elevator and goes to level 0.
Level 0.
There's also a level -1.
Yes, a basement.
What on Earth.
But why would you is that the ground floor, I guess, is 0?
It's the glowing blue globe floor.
So I'm thinking of a hotel like, L is the lobby. Is 1 above the lobby, or is it on the same level as the lobby? I
get what you're saying. I don't. That's a good question.
Does Lady True just number her floors differently?
Most elevators don't have negative numbers that I've noticed.
In Metal Gear Solid, they do.
All right,
basements are all like negative whatever.
Yeah.
And in like Westworld and stuff. But like the 0 thing throws me because who calls it floor 0? Level 0.
0. Yeah.
Anyway,
they go into some other dimension probably.
Ooh, what if she isn't? It was like a big dark room with a.
It looked like Cerebro.
It was pretty cool.
But yeah, just a big blue globe with all the recordings of the calls to Dr. Manhattan.
Yes.
Prayers.
Yes.
Kind of.
As we kind of talked about that a little bit, I think.
Right.
How
we did.
People are kind of asking him, like praying to Dr. Manhattan through these phone booths like Laurie did. And then, Angela gets to see Laurie's call, or at least part of it. And
and then True comes down there.
Lady True is just like, this is pretty crazy. People talk to Dr. Manhattan and you wouldn't believe what they ask for.
All these unanswered prayers because he's not listening.
Because he's not on Mars.
He's not on Mars. Where is he?
He's here.
What?
He's pretending to be one of us. And then Lady True points out that Angela didn't ask who he is.
Right.
So I guess does Lady True know who he is?
I get the feeling that yes, she does.
If that's true, why let Angela leave and go home to where he is?
It's almost like they wanted that to happen because the 7th Cavalry was waiting outside of Angela's home. It looked like
she needed to activate him. Yeah. Well, so that would fit with True working with the 7th Cavalry.
With the 7th Cavalry.
Huh.
That would be a pretty vast and insidious conspiracy.
But then
how does Will come into play? Because Will seems to be on the opposite side.
Yeah, Will wanted. She says that it was Will's idea that, or Will put the idea in her head that Dr. Manhattan was in Tulsa, right?
Mm.
And
he did say that Angela's going to find out that I betrayed her, and she's going to hate me for it. Perhaps that's his betrayal, is revealing that Cal is Dr. Manhattan.
Interesting.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe, I guess she might have just been saying that because she didn't have a way to like activate Cal as Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
Angela
she didn't have a hammer handy.
Yeah. So, well, she didn't know that that's how it would work. And so by letting Angela go after saying that, it's like, oh, she's going to go wake up Dr. M now.
Yeah.
And that's the plan. Like 7th Cavalry's standing by. Yeah. I think, it seems like Lady True and the 7th Cavalry are working together.
It's looking that way. Or at least she's aware of what they're going to do and she wants to observe.
Or leverage it somehow. Yeah. I don't know.
I think we're all puppets. She just sees the strings.
Ooh.
Oh, God, she's Dr. Manhattan's daughter.
I wonder if she's tired of getting tangled up in their lives.
She's just gonna live in a vivarium away from all humanity.
Create life.
She pretty much has. So Angela leaves True's vivarium, and then in trying to escape, she almost gets stopped by Pirate Jenny and Red Scare.
Yes, who say she's under arrest. Did you tell her she's under arrest?
And just drives right through Red Scare, which I don't know why he didn't see that coming.
Right. And I mean, like, it's also kind of weird, the loyalties here.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're, I don't know if they were exactly friendly, but they were at least, working together.
Coworkers, you'd think that there would be a little bit of...
I know. And especially, if, like, finding out that she's okay after she downed a bunch of nostalgia, maybe they'd be a little happier, but I don't know.
Red Scare don't care.
I like that. Red Scare don't care.
And then, we see Angela comes home, and you see like 7th Cavalry throughout. Kind of, it looked like they were just everywhere. Didn't they show a couple different 7th Cavalry
at her house? I thought we saw them looking through binoculars. As she runs in. I don't know if I saw
not like in the house, but I think we saw them a couple times, at least once, maybe more, as she was leaving True's place. Seemed like they had some people.
Oh, did they? I didn't notice
surveillance.
That. Could be.
But then, she goes home and confronts Cal. And we find out that she knew that he's been Dr. Manhattan the whole time.
Yes. And he didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
Apparently it was his idea.
His idea. She calls him John.
Which is not his name.
So now, I think we might have talked about this, but Cal is not unlike Kal-El, Superman's alien name.
Oh my God, that's the first I've heard that.
Mind blown.
Oh man, now that you mention that, there's lots of Superman connections throughout the show.
More than one, yeah. We'll go back in our deep dive and revisit all of them. So she takes the hammer to his head and pulls out what appears to be his little logo, a little ring. Yeah, or a ring with a floating bit of... Which is, what's that, the atomic symbol for something? Hydrogen. Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe he used his Manhattan powers to create like a device that would keep his powers and his memories sort of, in one spot until he was needed. Yeah. Which is also kind of weird for a being that perceives time, simultaneously. He would know that he lived as Cal and that then he would be reactivated eventually as Dr. Manhattan. Maybe he knew that's what was necessary with regard to all this plot and shit. Yeah, it does raise more than a few questions. Like, how did he even meet Angela? He must have met her in Saigon. But as a grown man. We do see in next week's episode, she's not a child when they're talking over drinks. And she's wearing a uniform. Yeah. Like some sort of officer, military, police, something. And it looks like sort of a Saigon police uniform. Yeah. And we'll figure it out next week. I'm not even going to try to guess what's going on. We'll just wait. And that's the end of the episode. So we get confirmation that Cal is Dr. Manhattan. Yeah. Okay. Angela knew it. Internet, you were right. People were right. Cal's Dr. Manhattan. You guess everybody's Dr. Manhattan. Somebody's going to be right. Pretty awesome. Yeah. This was, definitely, dropping the answers to the mysteries this episode a little bit at least. Mm-hmm. Certainly raising a lot more mysteries, but I can't wait to see what the Millennium Clock does when it turns on. I can't wait to see. Turns out it's the time necessary to cook a perfect egg. By the way, we did see some lettuce in this episode. That's right. Where was the lettuce? We also saw some pigs. Lots of pigs. Maybe like bacon. I think. Ooh. I think that might be one of our ingredients. Bacon and eggs. And lettuce. And what else did we have? Tomatoes. Tomatoes from the tree. It's the salad. It's all coming together. Making what kind of salad do they call that? It's pretty generic, just like chef salad or something, salad. Right? I don't know. Sounds good though. It does. I could go for a salad. And then some real food. I can't wait for more episodes. Same. This episode was definitely worth the wait, especially after that bombshell of one we got last time. Yeah. With Will Reeves' flashback situation. So super cute. Very cool. All right. That is it for this Just a Sip. You've had your sip. You'll have the full drink later this week. This is Jimbob. And I'm Joe.
And we're One Drink In.
You can find us at theonedrinkin.com. You can email us at theonedrinkin@gmail.com.
You can find us on Twitter at HBO Watchmen. No, that's not the show's Twitter. That's ours.
Instagram, we are at Watchmen Pod. And the best way that you can support this podcast is to leave us some nice reviews on whatever platform you listen to podcasts.
Tell us what you think.
Only good things. If you don't like us, I don't want to hear it.
You can. I'll hear it. I'll take all your negative stuff.
Yeah.
Joe
direct all the positive
needs to be
stuff.
Sheltered from all that.
Absolutely, I do. Until later this week, we are One Drink In.
Signing off.
Stay thirsty. Can we say that?
Probably not.